So let's first start with y equals 3. Hold on, let's see if I can make that clear. Y equals 3, parentheses, x plus 2, x plus 4. So let's start with that. What form is that in?
Factored.
Very good. It is in factored form. It is in factored form. Again, I highly recommend you take notes today. All right, so it's in factored form. Remember that the formula for factored form is y equals a, x minus r1, x minus r2. All right, and what information do you know from factored form?
The roots.
The roots. All right, so factored form gives you the roots. And what's the other word for roots?
X-intercepts.
X-intercepts. Good. All right, what are the roots and the x-intercepts of this one?
Two and 4.
Close. You remember you have to do the opposite of what's in parentheses.
-2, -4.
Good. And we're going to write those as ordered pairs. So it'd be -2, 0, -4, 0. You have to do the opposite of what's in the parentheses. Okay. You could also graph this in Desmos or in your calculator and see that the x-intercepts are at -2, 0 and -4, 0. Okay. All right, now let's talk about how we can go from factored form to standard form. Okay, let's talk about how we can go from factored form to standard form. First thing you're going to do is you're going to multiply these, and I used the lobster claw for that. If you have a different method, that's fine. So x times x is x squared. X times 4 is 4x. 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 4 is 8. Okay. All of that is in parentheses for right now, and the 3 is still out front. Remember, I can combine like terms, so that gives me x squared plus 6x plus 8. And now I need to distribute the 3 to everything. So that gives me 3x squared plus 18x plus 24. Okay. What form is this now?
Standard.
Good. This is now standard form. Okay, it's now in standard form. Remember, the formula for standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Once again, this is something you should have on a note card. If you don't have it memorized, just have it on a note card. That's the standard form. What information does standard form give you?
Y-intercept.
Very good. It gives you the y-intercept. C is your y-intercept. So if we look at what we have right here, somebody other than Peyton, what's my y-intercept of this one?
24.
Very good. And we're going to write it as an ordered pair. So a y-intercept would be 0, 24. Okay, that would be your y-intercept of this one. Okay. All right, now let's go from the standard form. All right, let's go from the standard form to the vertex form. Now let's go to vertex form. From 3x squared plus 18x plus 24. So we're going to take that and now we're going to put it in vertex form. So we had it in factored form. We multiplied the lobster claw to go to standard form. And now we're going to go from standard form to vertex form. What's it called when you go from standard form to vertex form?
Completing the square.
Complete the
Very
square.
good. Complete the square. Okay. All right, somebody who has not answered today, what do I do first to complete the square?
You put A and B in parentheses.
Good, put the first two in parentheses. All right, somebody else who has not answered, what else do I need to do?
Divide AX and BX by 3.
Good, so you divide them by 3, so that leaves me with x squared plus 6x plus a blank plus 24 minus a blank, and the 3 goes out front. Somebody new, what goes in this blank?
Half of 6 squared.
Good, half of 6 squared, so half of 6 is 3. 3 squared gives you 9, good. All right, somebody else who hasn't answered today, what goes here?
9 multiplied by 3.
Good, 3 times 9, which is 27, good. All right, we're going to condense it back down. So it's going to be 3 parentheses, and you put an x and the square on the outside. And you do half of this number. Half of that number was positive 3. That's what you do for your final answer. And then you combine like terms. That gives you negative 3. Okay. What form am I now in?
Vertex form.
I am now in vertex form. Okay. I'm now in vertex. What information does vertex form give you?
The vertex.
Gives you the vertex. All right. Somebody who has not answered today, what would be the vertex of this one?
-3, -3.
Very good, Jay. -3, -3 would be your vertex. Okay. All right. Now let's take this vertex form and go back to standard. We haven't done that yet today. So now let's take this vertex form and go back to standard. So we have y, or let's ignore the y for right now. 3x plus 3 squared in parentheses minus 3. Okay. All right, for this one, you have to remember to do order of operations. You have to do parentheses first and exponents first. So I have x plus 3 squared. Does anybody remember what you have to do with this, the x plus 3 squared?
Write it twice.
Very good, Addie. You have to write it twice. So I'm going to drop down the 3, and I'm going to do x plus 3 and x plus 3. I'm going to write it twice, and then drop down the minus 3. So I'm going to write it twice. Then I'm going to do the lobster claw. All right, because you've got to multiply your parentheses next. So x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times 3 is 9. All of that is going to stay in parentheses for right now. Okay. All right, I can combine like terms. So I have x squared plus 6x plus 9. What do you think I do next?
Distribute the 3.
Good. So I get 3x squared plus 18x plus 27, and I'm going to drop down this minus 3. One more step to do. Anybody?
Combine like terms.
Good. So here are your like terms right there. So I'm going to get 3x squared plus 18x. 27 minus 3 is 24. All right. Does this match what we got up here for our standard form? Do they match?
Yes.
Yes. So we have done it correctly. Okay. Once again, somebody who did not answer this question before, don't answer it again if you've already answered it. What information does standard form give you?
The y-intercept.
Good, Anna. It gives you the y-intercept. So this number is your y-intercept. Okay. All right, and we're going to do one more thing. Now we're going to go back to factored form. Okay, we're going to go back to factored form. All right, so we need to factor this. When you factor, you do the GCF first. You do the GCF first. What is the GCF on this one?
3.
3. All right, and you have to remember, I know it gets confusing, but when you're factoring, you do the GCF first and you divide all of them. Okay, so this is different than completing the square. This is factoring. Okay, when you factor, you do the GCF first and you divide all of them. So I divide all of them by 3. Divide all of them by 3. So that gives me x squared plus 6x plus 8. And then I do the combinations that multiply to give me 8. What multiplies to give me 8?
4 multiplied by
Good. And then when you add that, it gives you 6. These, what do I have to divide them by?
A.
A. And in this case, A is 1. And so it does not change them. Factored form is the one with the parentheses. So it's x plus 4 and x plus 2. What else do I have to remember to put?
A outside. You have to put 3 in the outside of the parentheses.
Very good. All right, so that is your factored form. Those of you taking notes, which I hope is all of you, does that factored form match what I originally gave you today for the factored form?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Can you go back down to the bottom?
Sure. Who else has a question?